Good evening, my gaggle of goblins, gremlins, and other lovely people. On today's episode of Sable, we're going to go and see if we can go and talk to this merchant and accuse them of making the town not look nice anymore. Wow, this is even neon. The real question is, where is Ira? Glass shop. Strange noises. Guess that's graffiti. I don't think I've seen Ira yet. I can talk to you. Greetings, Glider. No, same old thing. Let's not get stuck in the ceiling again. What do you have to say? Nothing. Oh. What does the doctor have to say? Bless Rahana, the power has come back online just in time. I nearly had 2 early-stage babies in wombs that could have run out in days. Okay. So saved lives. Talk to me, buddy. Courier Yoti. A courier will always find work. Ira's deliveries might have slowed down again, but all of her other business is back up and running. This door's open now. That's nice. Where could she be? Oh, hello, engineer. Asma says hello. What can I do for you, Glider? I already asked you those questions. You know, there's a good possibility that she's just out front. Glassman. He looks too busy to interrupt. Watching him work is mesmerizing. Sands from different parts of the world forming different colors, textures, and strengths of glass. Jamming the camera into his office makes the music very ominous. Oh god, bad camera. You have nothing to say? Sarai Nomad Yuki. I thought the tea prices had come back down now that power's back, but merchants still haven't lowered the price. This is a disaster. You have anything to say? Have a nice chat with Mouse. Farewell. Well. Yeah, the last quest is gonna be, I need to talk to Ira. But I cannot find her! Imagine what would have happened if the power had stayed on for much longer. I think it would have had to leave town. The huddled children giggle as I approach, the way the children do. You're never quite sure what they're entertained, nervous, or mocking. I decided not to let myself feel judged. You're a glider! How do you know? I saw your bike. And you can tell by your clothes. I'm psychic. You got me. You want to play a game with us? Sure. I think it was hide and seek, do you know it? I played it quite a bit. I tell them I used to play as the young friend of mine back home. They don't seem particularly interested in the story. I've never felt so old. Good, you're it. We'll go and hide and you have to find us. I tell them to wait. Once the great the great worldly wise glider cunningly tracked them down. Now I can tell them if I don't know their name. Don't be so sure you'll find us. This is our town, remember? Well, anyway, I'm Paula. I'm Jeff. And I'm Nez. I tell them my own name, and then Paula points at me. Are you ready, Sable? You have to close your eyes and count to 100. No peeking and no skipping, and count slowly. Never skip. Close my eyes and start counting. 1, 2, 3, 57, 58, 97, 98, 99, 100. And then I don't go looking. They're gonna be hiding forever. Because I have bigger fish to fry, technically. That was a really good hiding spot. You're smart. Oh, easy to find. I take the compliment. Oh, I haven't been here yet. Who are you? Shar Varana introduces herself. She's the Atomic Priest of Ekria. The Atomic Priest leans forward in a way they must think is inviting. And I suppose they're right, because here I am. Glider, we have a task for you if you're able. And interested, of course. Gliders tend to be interested in tasks. I've never known quite how to feel about the Atomic Priesthood. As a child, I'd been both fearful and fascinated watching them go in and out of their mysterious business and making up all kinds of things about them in my head. Today I understand that they are an order like any other. Only more severe, more insular, and dedicated to collective caution in a way that increasingly feels more like paranoia than reason. Still, I do mostly like a task. Are you familiar with the lore fabulist? I tell the priest that I've never heard of the lore fabulist. Well, this is a perfect task for you because you will know of lore the fabulist at its end. Sounds reasonable. Ask what the task is. We need to find Lore. And when you do, convey that we would like to invite her back to Ekria. We miss her quite a lot. It may be the most emotion I've ever heard from a member of the priesthood, and it seems quite legitimate. I wonder what sort of relationship Laura has with them. Tell me about them. Ask them to tell me more about Lore. She has been among our strongest voices, turning warning into whimsy and safety into song. She speaks the language of the common to convey the words of the wise. Where do you think she... If you aren't sure where to start, maybe it's wise to speak with the innkeepers and the beetle stations. Laura carries messages all across the world. I thank them for their advice. Very well. What have we here? What are you on about? I hear the guard murmuring about pomegranates to himself as I approach. When he notices me, he clams up and stands to attention. Can I help you? Guardian... Oh, Jans. I need to speak to Ira. Okay, you said something about pomegranates? The guard's ears seemed to perk up about the mention of the word. Yes, have you tried one? They sell them in Sarai, outside of town. They're unbelievable, magical. Each seed burst into a watery coolness. He continues to espouse his clear obsession with the fruit and notices almost salivating on my own mouth. I need to speak to Ira. Ira's a very important person, and if I'm going to let a bothersome glider interrupt her day, I'd better be worth my while. I suppose that'll do. Move along. I'm gonna, you don't realize why I'm here. I'm going to tell on you. I better get that money back. Well, if it isn't the person I'm looking for. If Ira is surprised, happy, or displeased to see me, it's hard to tell. The guard by her side tenses up as I approach, but Ira signals to them and they relax. Her presence is permitted. Why do you get guards? For now. So you got past Yanis. Was it a pomegranate? Or just a good old-fashioned cuts? It doesn't really matter, I suppose. Well, you're here now. Yes. I have some questions about the power cut. You have 5 minutes and I want you gone. I will kick your ass. Have any idea? Who do you think did it? It'll be some lowlife from the Sarai, probably that climber fellow, Gary. They say he's, you know, one to speak when a job needs doing. It was not exactly what I call discreet. Fellow like that, he won't be the brains behind it, but if I were a scummy little nobody, he's the person I'd hire to get all the work done. I'm told you can find him under the bridge outside the town gate. Add Gary to my list of suspects. I have more questions. Have any idea why? She's deeply irritated. There is a deeply irritated sigh at the beginning of her speech, and it comes like the hiss of a viper. 2 reasons I can imagine. 1, because they've something to gain for bringing down the town to its knees. You, perhaps. No, a sharp, annoyed inhale. 2, because power cores fetch a substantial price in illegal markets. Could be one of those, could be both, I don't know. I could ask more questions. Well, where were you? I can feel her eyes narrow on me. Imagine the drag of her tongue across her upper teeth. She dislikes me very much. I will ignore the implications of that question, friend. But if I was here in the market, ask around if you'd... I was here in the market. Ask around if you'd like. Any of the guards will vouch for me. I can ask more questions. How do I get badges? I'm completely disinterested in my question. I'm not even sure she heard me. I go to ask again when she lets out a big sigh. How do you think? What do merchants do? Don't answer that. You can buy them from me, yes? No, I don't want to buy anything from you. I know where Gary is. Hello, Gary. Gary grunts hello. I have some questions about the power cut. He scratches himself and spits on the ground before giving me a shrug. Why might somebody do it? Gary smells. It is not the worst, most pungent smell, not rot or bile or anything so pointedly awful. No, Gary's smell is more like old dust, tinged with stale oil and ground into the fabric of old garments or buried under fingernails. He clings to him, and I turn away just a little as he answers me. Heard about the big sale going down in the Sarai recently? Not sure what, but it caused a stir, let's say. Whatever it is, it's long gone by now. He shrugs, and so I press him a little bit further, asking if he had any idea who the seller was. As far as I heard, it was some machinist with a mushroom habit. Not sure how true that is, but I'd say he's come up a few times. Could this machinist be Hazma? Add him to my list of suspects. I can ask more questions. Where were you? Cafe. I crossed my arms, mostly out of impatience, but it seems to work on Gary somehow. Alright, I got a little scrap. Is that what you want to hear? Nothing to do with anything, and probably not your business, but sure, I had a fight. Power went out, broke it up. Keep my arms crossed. End of story, I got nothing else. What do you think of it? He stares at me for a few seconds, and I mistake it for consideration before I realize he's looking at me like I'm stupid. I don't name names, but even if I did, it beats me who did this. But more power to him, I say. There's a pause, and he laughs loudly. You get it? More power to him? Very funny. I muster a false laugh for him, but it almost seems to offend. He waves me off. Hi! Sandeep says hello. What can I do for you, Sable? Review suspects. Who do you want to discuss? I think it was a group. Do you think it could have been a group effort? What's the motive? Bring down Ekria. I'll be Gremlin. That seems unlikely, but the power being out is difficult, yes, but a temporary one. Sandeep doesn't seem very impressed with my line of thinking. Who do you want to discuss? Ira. Ira's very powerful. We have a very hard time building strong evidence against her. What's her motive? Yes? She got someone else to do it. Well, I can't imagine doing it herself, and she has an alibi. Gary. Let's go through the case against Gary. What's his motive? Someone paid him to do it. He has a bad reputation in Ekria. People say he'd do anything for money. That's a good lead. How did he do it? Climber. He climbed. It's possible. I'm surprised he managed it with the slippery metal surface of the atomic heart. Well, I did too. Hazma. Let's go through the case against Hazma. What's his motive? He owed money. Like, he was in debt to the merchants. They sent people to ransack his workshop to frighten him into paying up. How did he do it? He had a security code and keycard. Understands machines. He had the security code, so he just walked in the door. What about the smashed window? Is that important? I'm not sure. What do you want to discuss? Make an accusation. Who's the culprit, then? Alright, let's pump our brakes a little bit. I'm fully aware that all of the evidence points towards Hazma. He is the only one who owed a bunch of money, he was the only one who knew how to take the core out of the socket without damaging the socket, and he was even spotted in the market selling something of great value. So that puts everything on him. But I like Hazma. I'm buddy-buddy with the engineers and machinists. I dislike Ira. She's horrible, and started this whole mess. I'm also a gremlin who likes to watch the world burn, so let's throw a couple of embers on this thing and see if we can make a fire. I'm gonna say Ira. I'm excited to explain how Ira benefited by rigging the markets after the power was lost in town, how she exploited the power cut to create scarcity and to raise prices in people's desperation. My excitement is curtailed by the way Sendu sighs halfway through the explanation and say that I don't think Ira herself did the crime, and he looks even more resigned. My case seems to be falling apart. It's a tricky situation. We can't arrest Ira. That's not how things work in Ekria. Even if you had some kind of indisputable evidence, which you don't, this isn't going anywhere. I feel deflated, and did I miss something, or is it always a fool's errand? Thanks for your help anyway, Glider. Maybe it's best you don't tell anybody about our little discovery here. One last thing for your trouble. Take care. place sucks.